Alright guys, I got this thing going while I was at a stoplight, so that's at least pseudo safe. Tenacious Earl here, and just wanted to put in a video while I'm a little bit here on the road. It's not going to be as fancy schmancy as my pal Chris at Tabletop Sports Delaware. He seems like he's got a dash cam, which is always a technological advance when it comes to being able to not only record musings on the road, but also maybe to catch somebody trying to pull an insurance scam or other kinds of fun stuff. I don't know if this is catching me. If it's not, I'm sorry. Kind of weird angle. Like I said, no fancy equipment. So, so this weekend, Chris and I are going to finally get a chance to meet up face-to-face at a local brewery, which I'm really looking forward to, and it sounds like he is as well. He's going to bring a Stratomatic baseball game and the 1980 season, which I've never done anything with. Obviously, as a Phillies fan, I wasn't a Phillies fan back then, so but I do remember that as kind of like one of my first baseball memories was watching that World Series with the Royals some. Didn't really understand the game too much because I was around 6 or 7, but still, it should be fun. And being able to have so Chris, if you see this, I have been to Mispillion River before a couple times, back when my oldest was in all-state band, or maybe chorus, one or the other. They were having practices at Lake Forest High School, and that brewery is maybe 5-10 minutes away, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna go down and hang out. And it was nice. It was kind of quiet. Didn't have anybody to drink with, which always changes the experience from. But then you kind of like start talking up the bar hand a little bit, and hey, you make of it what you can. I don't get a chance to go to although I will say it's nice that the microbreweries are so plentiful now. I don't know how. I mean, it must be somewhat lucrative because I don't see too many of them crapping out yet. And in this economic time, you might expect this would be a time when you'd see a few of them crash and burn. But in fact, so I'm just driving. I'll try. I don't know how long I'm going to do this. This isn't going to be an everyday thing. I drive out of Middletown, and Middletown for the longest time, all they had as far as craft brewing or microbrewery, whatever you want to call it, was a single small company called Volunteer Brewing, which was out behind the firehouse in Middletown. And that was it. It was like if you wanted to go and get some craft beer, it was like nothing. And then where I live is Smyrna. There, then two hatched there. One in an industrial park that is coincidentally named Blue Earl. Have no involvement in it, but their beer is mighty tasty, which makes me proud to share the name. And then also a place that's more of a restaurant, but it's like a microbrewery or gastropub or whatever that has a full service menu and all that stuff. So Smyrna had a couple. That was great, but Middletown still only had the one, and this Volunteer was only open in small hours. So my coffee. I do not drink coffee, so that's where I get charged up in the morning. So anyway, so now Middletown has, what did seem to go under is they opened a Two Stones pub branch down here, and it seems like that has not revived and maybe never will. Every time I go past there, their parking lot is completely dead, so I think maybe they scuttled that particular one. The route here going over the Summit Bridge, it's a beautiful morning, and it's a little humid, but you're not going to get away from that in Delaware hardly ever. Maybe wintertime a little bit, but yeah. So then they had let's see what opened first. Crooked Hammock. So Crooked Hammock is a brewery that has their main restaurant establishment down at the beach, Delaware beaches, but they opened a branch in Middletown. Their beer's pretty good. It is what it is. I like it, but now you have First State Brewing, which I'm not like doing advertisements for them, so please, this is not meant to be advertising the delinquency of any adults who can partake in the beverages. If you have a problem with this, you might want to turn off the video, but First State Brewing opened up, and now there's another one called Jackal. It's funny, they opened up within like half a mile of each other in the same industrial park, but kind of like Muspellian River is down in Milford. They're an industrial park, and so is Blue Earl. And then Volunteer, I think they realized that they needed to up their game because all these other places were going to take the business, and so they now have somewhat of a tap room and like a beer garden that I guess I don't know all the specifics, but anyway. So now Middletown is in the 21st century, where we actually, well, not we. I don't live in Middletown, but it's kind of like the whole lower, slower, especially the northern part, ends up kind of like glomming together. So, but and if you include Smyrna in with Middletown, lots of options. But anyway, back to tomorrow, Saturday. Like 1:30, 2 o'clock, get together, play some El Strato Matto baseball, and sounds like Chris has never been there, so that's gonna be good for him. What I am into right now, which is kind of like the most trite, overdone cliche thing now, is I like the hazy and or juicy India Pale Ales. So basically, what is that? That is an IPA that is very low, very, very low in bitterness. It's almost as if they just throw those hops in, and they throw like 50 million of them in right at the very end, and just long enough, and they might even hop the dang thing in the keg. I don't know, but it's like, all it is, they probably can't do that because that might bitter. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I have done some home brewing. I don't know if you need heat for the lupulin or whatever it's called to do the conversion to where it's... So lupulin, I am a chemist. I don't know enough about hops, but you need to have that convert. So you get early on, you get like all this aromatic stuff, and it's like very floral usually, and bright tasting. And then as it gets heated, it then converts within that process to a more bitter flavor, which just adds a little character, which some people really like. It's not that I don't like it. I prefer one that is extremely clean. I don't believe they tend to add, in a juicy, they may add a little bit of fruit. just to kind of like, or fruit juice to the wort to try and kind of like kick it along, if you will. But usually the yeast should create these esters and things like that are the signatures of fruit, and that's why you would get some flavors and such that, you know, that would pop out in your mind and make your mind think, oh, this has got a little bit of a fruity note, you know. So but you know, it's a little hazy and stuff like that, but they're usually very clean tasting, as far as like very, very little body, hardly any, you know, it's just like, you know, someone might say it's kind of like a mixed drink, but you know, without the 15% alcohol or whatever. I mean, these things usually get up in the 7 or 8% range, which is pretty good. But anyway, all right, I'm at another light, so looking forward to tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in here. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a fancy dash cam. I'm not going to get one because this drive to work isn't really all that interesting. I pretty much told you the highlight, which was kind of like crossing the bridge, and on this morning it is Trey Bow. Looking like it's going to be a good day, so have a good one, guys. Take it easy.